Top 5 misconceptions about nature's efficient killers, sharks. Ever since Jaws hit theaters, folks have feared stepping into the water for fear of becoming a giant fish's snack. The book and films paint sharks as evil killing machines, which couldn't be further from the truth. Sharks rarely harm people, and they don't ride around in tornadoes as much as people think. Still, there are tons of misconceptions about nature's most efficient killing machines, and these 5 are easily the most widespread. Number 5. Sharks are nature's most efficient killing machines. Don't let the title fool you. Sharks aren't nature's best killer. That honor doesn't even belong to the vertebrates. Viral organisms have held that particular trophy on their collective mantles for as long as they've been hopping rides in animals' bodies, only to return the favor by killing them. To be fair, many sharks are efficient predators, but that doesn't make them nature's most efficient killers. Many sharks are intelligent and calculating. They stalk their prey in the same way a pride of lions might plan a hunt. They wait patiently for the perfect moment to strike, which is why you often see sharks swimming peacefully around their potential food. Sharks that hunt their prey often rely on surprise, and will abort their attempt if that advantage is lost. Of course, this only applies to some shark species, and there are probably more than you might know. More than 500 species of shark have been identified, and some are more efficient at hunting than others. Many species are far less discerning and will attempt to eat anything they come across. Number 4. Sharks are man-eaters. Sharks are scary because they look terrifying. Add to that the fact that they are often unseen when they attack people, and you have nothing short of terror on everyone's minds when one is sighted. Because of this, in movies that capitalize on fear, sharks have been labeled as man-eaters. The vast majority of sharks spend their entire lives without ever seeing a human. Think about it for a second. Earth's oceans are enormous, and most people only venture into the waters along coastlines, leaving a massive space for sharks to swim without seeing people. The vast majority of shark species are opportunistic feeders that primarily eat small fish and invertebrates. Only around 12 species have been involved in attacks on people. When it does happen, it's usually due to the shark mistaking a human for something else. Granted, when a shark bite does occur, it's serious. Just a little chomp is enough to cause massive tissue damage, the mangling of limbs, and death if not treated right away. The seriousness of these incidents helps give rise to the man-eater myth, but in the end, that's all it is. Number 3. Sharks are at the top of the food chain. Most people think of sharks as nature's most efficient killing machines, but we've already dispelled that myth. Still, the myth prevails, leading many to assume that sharks are at the top of their respective food chain. It makes sense when you think about it. What could possibly pose a threat to a shark? Technically, humans kill far more sharks than anything in the ocean, but we aren't exactly members of their food chain. As it happens, while sharks don't have to live in constant fear of many predators, they are hunted in their environment. When most people picture the deadliest shark, they probably think of the great white. After all, they can grow up to 23 feet, 7 meters, and weigh 2.5 plus tons or more. They can become prey to larger great whites, but the creature that hunts and eats them is the aptly named killer whale. This behavior was first documented in 1997 when 2 orcas attacked a great white shark to consume its liver. Since that time, more attacks have been witnessed, proving there's a predator the largest predatory sharks fear. Number 2. Sharks will die if they stop swimming. Why do sharks have to keep swimming? There has long been a belief that sharks need to swim to live, which is associated with how sharks breathe. Like most fish, sharks breathe via gills, which extract oxygen from the water as it passes over them. Unlike most species of fish, sharks do this in a variety of ways. Some species use ram ventilation, which works when they swim fast with their mouths open, forcing water to flow through their gills. Typically, when a shark is breathing in this manner, they swim faster than usual and are always moving. Some sharks use buccal pumping, which works by drawing water into the mouth and over the gills, which they can do while remaining completely still. This has been observed in bullhead and nurse sharks. The tiger shark has been known to switch between buccal pumping and ram ventilation, depending on their need. Some species lost the ability to buccal pump, including great whites and mako sharks. These obligate ram ventilators will indeed stop breathing if they don't swim, so the myth isn't true of nearly every species of shark, but does apply to a few. Number 1. Sharks can detect a single drop of blood from miles away. Testing if sharks can smell a drop of blood. You've probably heard this at some point in your life, and ever since, you've taken precautions to avoid the water with even a tiny cut. Many sharks are hunters, and they do have an acute sense of smell and a sensitive olfactory system, but it's not a supernatural ability. Sharks use their nostrils entirely for smelling since they can't breathe through them. They are lined with incredibly sensitive cells capable of picking apart various chemicals interpreted as smells by the brain. While this translates into an accurate sense of smell, it doesn't extend for miles in any direction. Some sharks have been known to detect a low concentration of something at a few hundred meters, which is hardly a mile or more. Some species of sharks can detect specific compounds at 1 part per billion, which sounds impressive, and it is, but it amounts to about 1 drop in an average-sized swimming pool. Sharks can definitely pick apart a scent in a large body of water, but it's limited far more than the myth allows. This ability isn't restricted to predation either, as it comes in handy when detecting pheromones emitted during mating.